What's going on, everyone? This is Squids. How is everyone doing today? So, originally, I really wanted to do both episodes at the same time, considering I kind of knew that episodes 1 and 2 were supposed to simultaneously drop at the same time. But I could only find episode 1 until, well, today, which I didn't expect today. I just figured I was going to wait till Saturday. However, surprise! And a good surprise at that, because like I've said, I love Nagatoro. It is one of the best shows ever, and it makes me so happy. So this episode was a pretty damn good one. We finally get to see more of Paizen and Nagatoro get closer bonded, and you can see now that they're starting to get older and everything, and not necessarily much older, but they're maturing, and their relationship is getting closer, which I find so cute and so fascinating, and I love it. So now that that's happening, they're starting to do more things, and it's starting to get more open, it's starting to get more comfortable, and they're starting to just click, which I really like about this anime, that they're slowly building up to that, and not just like on that unnatural rom-com vibe, which really gets me going. And I personally am so stoked, and I really should read the manga. Though I haven't, I really should. And I don't know how much further the source material is. If I remember correctly, I think we could get another season. But that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is reviewing this episode. So, this episode starts with Nagatoro and Senpai kind of just chilling in the club room, and she's got some type of one of those, like, to me it looks like one of those rice rolls, and she's also eating, it looks like maybe like a strawberry covered bamboo shoot, and she's like throwing them in her mouth and everything, and she asks Senpai if he wants one, and so she ends up she has him close his eyes and say ah, and she puts one into this snack and shoots it right into his throat, and of course it's delicious, and right after that we cut to the intro. And, of course, delightful intro, we got Neko Nagatoro again in her cheerleading outfit. Can't go wrong with that, honestly. We go back to class, and obviously Paizen's drawing, and he's a little uninspired, considering the art fair just happened, and he drew all those awesome, beautiful pictures of Nagatoro at the end of last season. So, Miss Big Opie President comes in, and she's like, oh, look at that. Drawing uninspired stuff again, huh? And of course, he is like, well, yeah. And she admits, you just drew all these things. You're probably burnt out. So here, I have zoo tickets. You need to go to the zoo, because that's where inspiration happens. Because the biggest inspiration behind art is love, as we found out last season. So we come to find out she actually has 2 zoo tickets there, and she suggests that he brings her with him, because he loves her. Let's be honest here. So he invites Nagatoro, and she was kind of on the corner of the edge, like she always is at that perfect timing, listening to the conversation. And so he invites her, and after some hesitation, because he's still, even though he's getting better at everything, he's still nervous, so it shows, but it's showing his growth too at the same time, because back in the day he wouldn't have even freaking done shit. So he invites her, and she says yes. We go to the zoo to draw things, and of course, she remembers that that's where they came, so she was slightly disappointed that he hands her a sketchbook. However, we get this cute outfit on Nagatoro with like a beret and her skirt and everything, and it's just absolutely adorable. So they go to the animals, and of course, so before this, I totally forgot to add, before any of that happens, so jump back about one scene. There's a flashback to reference from season 1, how when they go to the why am I spacing out on this? Oh gosh, they go to not the fair, but the festival. There we go. They go to the festival, and Nagatoro told him how, you could always try asking if you want somebody to go somewhere. And he gets that flashback, and then he builds up the courage to ask her. But we flash forward to that, and we get to see that beautiful outfit that she has, and the little sweatshirt on top of it. And then Paisen's wearing like this like auburn sweater and khakis, which is kind of nice to see him in another outfit too. I like when animes do that. I know it's supposed to be like a shonen trope, or sometimes, isekais and all this shit, but it's nice to see characters actually change clothes, because that's life. And so, they start kind of walking around, and Nagatoro notices the red panda, and she starts taking pictures of it with her phone, and, like, it's standing, and she's just so impressed, and she's got that cute little Neko phone case with the yellow eyes and the black. Oh, it's the absolute most adorable thing. However, she notices that obviously Paisen's drawing, and she's like, "Oh, well, you gotta help me out here, because you said you would teach me." So she wants him to take her hand and help her with the drawing. So of course he's nervous at first, but he's like, "Okay, this is just a hand. I'm gonna take it, and we're gonna do this." The best part was, before he goes to grab her hand, he wipes the sweat off of it, and then goes back to do it again. It's so funny. Obviously, it's absolutely adorable. And so he grabs her hand, and he draws this nice outline, and it actually looked pretty damn well. So she kind of goes from there. And right after that, they kind of flash forward to this cafe in the zoo. And they're comparing their artworks together, and his is obviously more realistic surrealism, while hers is actually honestly pretty good. I couldn't draw that well whatsoever. But of course, he tells her it's actually pretty good, because it shows that she's actually taking an interest into his hobbies as well, which is really absolutely adorable. I don't know how many times I've said adorable in this review, but it is just great. So Nagatoro slips out to go to the bathroom quick, and while she does that, we see two people, and one of them ends up being one of those assholes that we've seen in season 1 that was trying to pick up Nagatoro and the girls. And of course he recognizes Paisen, and he's trying to just ignore the situation until they look at the art. And they're like, "Oh yeah, this one's really great, but this one looks like shit, like a child drew it." And of course, he's trying his best not to get involved in the situation. However, until they start talking about Nagatoro's artwork, and he gets mad. He gets so mad, and he finally stands up for her and himself and goes, "Don't laugh at that. Someone tried really hard on that." And, Nagatoro slips out of the corner, and she's like, they both start freaking out, because Nagatoro's kind of a badass, and she's got just that charismatic vibe to her, and everybody, I'm assuming she has a reputation too. So she gets out there, she's "I drew that, and she has this perfect face on her. So right after that, she instantly gets this cat face on her, and I had to take a screenshot of that one for this video, because it is absolutely amazing. They've got the eye squint and the tooth and the hair parted just perfectly, and Paisen's just looking at her like, "Oh shit, you fucked up." And so they're like, no, and they finally kind of leave, and we get a slight flashback to the fact that Nagatoro, while leaving the bathroom, stopped and paused for a moment, and seen that Paisen actually stood up for her. And that's that perfect good timing for Nagatoro yet again, that whole fucking thing. But she gets that red blush on her face, and it is absolutely adorable. So they decide to go for a lap, and one more lap before the zoo closes. And what do they decide to draw? He kind of gives her the choice to draw something. She's like, "Okay." And he's like, "Just draw whatever your favorite thing is." So they stop at the sloth. And so he's drawing the sloth, and Nagatoro's about 5-6 feet behind him, smiling, and a little blush and doodling. And Paisen keeps looking back a little bit, just to kind of see what she's doing, but she's telling him to look forward, and draw. And we cut to the picture of his drawing, and it is absolutely stunning, as always. And we find out that she actually drew him, which is the cutest thing ever. And it was actually pretty good. The line work even he notices that the line work has way more detail into it. And then he remembers the president talking about, when you love something, it's your passion, you draw it the best when you love it. So of course he's like, "Oh my god." And that's pretty much the end of the episode. This was a fucking fantastic episode, which I'm more than likely going to say for every single episode of this series. But Man, it was awesome. You can kind of tell the subtle shift changes in the artwork. Because I believe I mentioned that last time, but we did get a new artist or new studio, which also does mean a new artist. But I season one was Ken Hashimoto, who did like Attack on Titan season 1 through 3 and like One Punch Man season 1, and now it's Naoto Kondo, who did High School DxD New and Card Fight Vanguard, which in my opinion is a little bit of a different contrast in color, which makes sense because if you watched High School DxD New compared to like Attack on Titan and One Punch Man, that's definitely more his style. But the art obviously hasn't changed, just like the color tones and the palettes, and I really love that fact because it makes it look really good. Not that season 1 didn't look good, but it looks really tight and crisp and clean, and I'm a big fan of it. And other than that, a lot of people I also noticed are commenting on like the fact that their voice actors sound different. Granted, they're the same voice actors, but I mean, I think Nagatoro maybe sounds a slight bit different, but at the same time, maybe she's approaching it different. And also, they are next year in high school as well. I believe Nagatoro's a junior and Senpai's a senior at this point. So they've gotten a little older and a little more mature. However, I can't really tell much of a difference, and I think it sounds fantastic. As always, they're doing a great job. Perfect episode. Excited for Saturday to be able to do episode 3. It's been a crazy week for anime, and I'm just so freaking excited. But with that being all said and done, thanks for watching. If you made it this long, please give me a like, and if you're feeling generous, a subscribe. But this has been Squids, and we'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.